I am in the 10,000 islands off the west coast of Florida. I've been exploring different islands and uncovering the past. It's getting late in the day, so I need to find my camp before dark. Avi told me about an island that a family called home for over 100 years, so I thought I'd check it out. I'm on one of the many islands in the 10,000 islands, and I'm still looking for which island would be the best campsite. And I came to this one because it was built up by shells by the Native Americans. A family actually settled here. They made this one their home, and they had farm here and livestock, and I know that they're actually buried on this island. So I thought if I keep covering all these paths, which I'm kind of running out of space here, that I would find their burial grounds to kind of verify if the legend is real. And it is. Now, the legend goes that panthers were actually coming and killing a bunch of their livestock, and the family eventually had to pack up and leave. You'd have to imagine it has got to be hard to survive in a climate in an island like this, but the love that you know they must have had for the island to want to be buried here and nowhere else. Think about all the things that were going on while they were on this island away from everything else. World wars were fought, the automobile was invented, cities were being built up, and they were just separate, away from it all. I honestly hope that I can get a piece of that existence, a piece of that distance from the rest of the world while I'm out here on this trip. It's just so quiet. After seeing the island and verifying a family did live here up until about 60 years ago, the idea of camping on the island kind of feels like I was intruding in someone else's home. I decided to keep looking and find my own island. Wow. I chose this because as I was skirting around here, I noticed there was like 10 foot of water pretty quick for a drop off. Whereas every other island that I checked, it was only like 2.5, 3, and I thought that might up my chance of getting other fish. I know I'm supposed to maybe be stoic or whatever, but I'm so excited I feel like a little kid. I mean, look at this. White sandy beaches, it's gorgeous, the seashells. I'm just kind of digging out a little hole, trying to keep the fire confined, just using a shell. When my dad was a kid, he grew up in Kentucky, and he would go out every day and find geodes. It's those rocks that you see with like crystals inside them, all different colors and stuff. And at the time, they had no value. So his dad would make him get rid of them because he was tired of them getting stacked up around the house. And at one point, he had a pretty good pile going by the house. And he said, like, looking back now, they're probably worth like 50 grand, that pile. But at the time, it had no value. And it's kind of funny, I feel so excited to be out here. I get to live off the land and have this experience. Other people don't get it, it has no value now. So some things in life mature and gain value. Some things in life don't have any value after time. It just depends who the buyer is. And I am sold on this. Cool. All right. This is a horseshoe crab molt. Now, a horseshoe crab is a species that actually has blue blood. It's super weird to look at, but the blue blood is super valuable. It's used in the medical industry. They harvest thousands and thousands of gallons of blood a year out of the horseshoe crabs. They take about 40% of the blood and then they dump the horseshoe crabs back in the water. They really don't know how many live or die from it. Scientists believe that the females aren't reproducing after they give up that blood, and it's just a super stressful thing on them, so it's not good, and the species numbers are on the decline. But the value is so high because of what it does in the medical industry. They check to see if instruments and syringes and things like that are sterilized. So there's a compound in the blood that when you take it and put it on anything that has bacteria or anything like that on it, the compound in the blood will surround it and make like a jelly shell around the bacteria. It won't kill it, but it'll at least let them know it's there. They're currently working on a way to do that without needing to use the horseshoe crab blood, but so far, nature is the only way to do it. In my downtime, I got the opportunity to be a good Samaritan and flip over a real live horseshoe crab. They get flipped over on their back a lot, and if they can't get flipped back over, they'll die. It's mating season. I've seen a couple of them attached. He's coming to say thank you. When the bite finally came, whatever it was made off with my bait. I decided I'd better get some sleep. The next day, I would need all my energy to finally locate some fish.